coming right there.
All right, hey gents, welcome back to Tactical Rifleman. This week I want to talk about how to make a range. We got a lot of viewers. Some of you out there own a lot of your own property, live in rural areas, and you reach out to us. Hey Karl, I see you've got a range on your property. I would like to have a range on my property. What do I got to do? What do I have to do? How did you make your berm? How did you make your steel targets? But first and foremost, you need to look at it legally, right? Can you legally shoot on your own land? Everybody takes that as a given, but you need to check your city and local laws, right? State laws, local ordinances in your town, because most places you cannot shoot within 100 yards of a dwelling that has people living in it, all right? But it varies by state. Other states, it's 150, it's 500 yards in certain states. And towns and cities can have the same restrictions. For example, if I lived a quarter mile in that direction, I would not be able to shoot because I'd be inside city limits. I live out in a county, I can get away with this. So do your homework, right? And make sure that you're squared away. All right, insurance, obviously check your homeowner's insurance on your property, but make sure you're doing this smart. But once you've like, hey, I can do this, find a spot, and how you find that spot on your property is you want a good range fan. Check satellite imagery, get out and actually walk the local terrain. Make sure that if somebody accidentally has that AK super elevated, they don't send a whole magazine up into the air right in the direction of the local school. That would be bad. Okay, I've got nothing but farmland for about 2.5 miles that direction, right? I check the range fan, just like they do in the military, we have range fans. All right, now, once you've done that, you have to have a berm. I don't care if you say, well, Karl, I own that whole valley. I owned all the property for a mile. I know there's nobody back there. Guys, that doesn't cut it. It doesn't cut it, okay? Because there could be people out there trespassing. Your kids may be out there. There may be deer. There may be other of God's creatures out there. No, you need to have something that will definitively stop all of the projectiles that you're shooting at. Does that make sense? All right, now when you start building your berm, at a minimum, you want 10, 12 feet. I like a 12-foot high berm at a minimum. Now, when you start thinking that you're gonna just plow up dirt with your bulldozer, if you want 12 feet, this is for you. You are gonna lose 1/3 of the height of your berm in the first couple of years. What do I mean by that? I appreciate you asking. Erosion, rain coming down, everything else, your berm is gonna settle and dirt's gonna come down off the top. So if you're planning on a 12-foot berm, you're gonna lose 4 feet of that, right? Now you're down to an 8-foot berm. If that's all you made, it was 12. So plan ahead, make your berm bigger than necessary. Now that's not just for that berm. Let's say you've got several bays side by side. For example, we've got 6 shooting bays here. If you're running berms between your bays, don't just say, well, I'm gonna make my bay 15 feet wide and I'm gonna have a 12-foot berm, because 12-foot berms on both sides, you're gonna lose all that dirt. It's gonna come in and your range is gonna get narrower. So deliberately make each bay on your range wider. Understand that those berms are going to settle, all right? Now, once you've got that berm up, you've got to think about bullet erosion. Every time you shoot that high-powered rifle into that berm, I don't care if it's sissy little 5.56, it's gonna blow dirt back out of your berm. It's gonna erode your berm. Now, shooting a .338 Lapua or a Norma into it, you're gonna blow out even more dirt. You need to consider these things. So in other words, vary where you're putting your targets from time to time, yes, but also understand you need to have a way to retain that dirt in the berm. A lot of people will plant grass. I plant winter rye because I can grow it pretty well year round. It grows up lots of weeds and lots of root beds, and then the stuff dies off. So I would seed my berms to my left, right, top, and back to help retain that soil. but still understand that your berms will erode with gunfire. What the military uses what's called hesco baskets. What they are is they are wire baskets that fold up, and they've got cloth on the inside of them. Now, they can be brought in by helicopter, by truck, by plane. They get them, they drag them out, and then you take a front end loader or 500 privates with shovels, and they fill the things in, and you can build bunkers, whole perimeter fence walls, but you can also build range berms. That's great. Hescos are awesome for ranges. However, hescos are expensive. Inside my berm, we added our own hescos. What we did was we took regular fencing, chicken wire basically. We bought rolls of it, we made our baskets, and then we lined them with landscaping cloth, right? And then we filled them one at a time with the Bobcat. Start at one end of the range, we work our way all the way across. When you need to go higher, drive the Bobcat across carefully so you don't fall and die, and fill your next row of hescos. That's fine, but again, understand these hescos are still going to settle, all right? Now, what we chose to do here on our range was we added a row of tires on the front. Now, that used to be very popular 30 years ago. A lot of ranges had tires on them. The problem with that, right, and it's a calculated risk that I took because this is my range, right, is if you're shooting big fat bullets at low velocity, let's say you're shooting cowboy action 41 long Colts, right, those bullets may not penetrate the tire and they'll bounce right back at you. Now, everybody's wearing iPro, but you get hit with it, it's gonna hurt like hell. All right, you catch one in the junk, one in the kneecap, one in the cheek, you're gonna know it's gonna leave a mark. Calculated risk. Now I mentioned that because it's not just tires. Hanging sheets of rubber, you can have the same problem. So in other words, don't let there be rubber, chunks of metal, chunks of concrete, things like that inside your berm. We use good topsoil to do it. Also what we did was we packed the tires with dirt by hand. It was a pain in the neck. I had a whole crew here eating my pizza, drinking my beer, and packing all those tires so that they would not rebound at all. Again, I need to be able to shoot this and I need it to last. So I used tires. I would not do this on a public range that was going to be taking millions and millions of rounds. I did this on my range. So again, I throw that out there. There is the hazard of bullets bouncing off of your rubber tires. My 5.56 and my 9mm is not bouncing off these things. It's just not happening. Now, once you've got your berm made, you've got to put targets on it, right? Now, I like targets that I can move around. If it's your new range, invest in targets that you can move around. This right here, this C-Zone is made by MGM targets. Great target, rifle rated AR-500, and it's got the angle built into it. Important, all right? Now, even with this being rifle rated, guys, don't shoot steel with a pistol closer than 10 meters, all right? 7 to 8 meters if it's angled, but in general, the rule of thumb is don't shoot pistol at steel closer than 10 meters unless you're using frangible ammo, all right? Likewise with rifle, even if it's rifle rated steel, don't shoot it closer than 45, 50 meters. If it's angled, you can get by a little closer. Now you'll notice in our videos, Tactical Rifleman, we shoot these plates up close with rifles a lot. Yes, we do, but we're shooting them with frangible rifle ammo, but we're also doing it closer so that you guys can get that visual feedback better, all right? So you got to be smart about shooting these targets. Now, I like MGM. I do. They make the best steel on the planet. It's a little more expensive than going to your local redneck that owns a plasma cutter. Yeah, it is, but the quality is worth it, right? Now, not all plates are created equal, This right here is another plate that I actually made these in Iraq. I made them out of dead Iraqi Humvees, right? It's armor, right? But it's still, if people shoot it from too close with AKs, I've actually got dimples on the back. The problem with having dimples on your steel, nobody thinks much of it. Well, okay, it didn't go through, no big deal. It is a big deal, because here's what happens. They shoot that rifle round and they dimple your steel plate. Where's my dimple at? It's all rusted up. My dimple right here. Now, the next time I come out and shoot pistol, my 99 out of 100 pistol rounds are not going to have any problems. But that one pistol round that catches the edge of that dimple, catches the edge of it, and that lead runs around the back, and now it's coming back at me, the shooter, at a much higher rate of speed. If you're shooting steel, you're going to get bit. You're going to get bit from time to time. The bullet hits the steel, and you'll see all the lead goes flying everywhere, nice and uniform, but that copper jacket that was around that lead bullet, think of it like a Frisbee that's been chewed up by a dog. They curve, they go all over the place, and if you're shooting steel, you're gonna get bit from time to time. No big deal. That's why we wear eye pro, that's why we wear ear pro. Chicks dig scars, you'll be fine. That is a low velocity fragment. You'll be fine. Different when somebody hits the dimple. When they hit that dimple on the pitted steel, those projectiles coming back still retain a lot of velocity. So the reason why I say that is you need to inspect your steel. One, don't use cheap steel. Get good steel like MGM steel. Use our promo code, TR5, I think. TAC R5, it's one of the two, it's down in the comment section. I honestly don't care what brand steel you use, so long as you're using high quality steel. Don't shoot it from too close. If it's pistol rated steel, don't shoot rifle at it. It's pretty easy, right? Use common sense, inspect your steel from time to time, and if it's getting pitted, take your steel, go have it, grind it out, and then weld it flush again, and you'll be fine. All right, now when you start talking about paper targets, everybody needs paper target stands. I like, these are called stab and shoots. Again, by MGM. They take my 1x2 inch furring strips. I can buy stacks of them at Lowe's. You can get your target backers. I like these because I can just drive them into the ground anywhere I want to put them. And I can stack a lot of these in my Jeep when I'm going to go teach a class. Now you can buy different target stands. You can permanently mount them, but I like ones that I can quickly pull up and move around. But other than that, have wooden stakes. So no chance of bullets ricocheting, and then just buy the corrugated plastic boards like we have, and you just staple your targets to them. Piece of cake, nothing hard. Nothing hard at all. They're cheap, and it makes your range just look professional. Now, you notice we've got gravel on the range. I went gravel back to 25 yards. It looks better, it looks more presentable on our Tactical Rifleman videos. You don't need gravel. The advantage is gravel is it's a little easier for you to pick up brass, do stuff like that. We don't have to worry about it getting muddy. We're down in a low ground. We're in a bowl down here. If you choose to get gravel's expensive, dig out the area first like we did, all right? And then we laid down landscaping cloth. That is, it's a weed barrier. Right, get the good industrial stuff so you don't ever have to worry about grass growing up through your range. Otherwise, you'll be having to round up the thing all the time. Nah, avoid it. Dig it out, lay the cloth down, invest in it, and then just understand 6-inch deep gravel on top of that cloth. There's a lot of gravel here, guys, a lot of gravel. Now, we only went back to 25 meters. The rest of, and this is a 100-meter deep range. The rest of it is just grass, well-manicured golf course grass, because I take pride in my range. We've got our shooting walls, all of our barricades. We like grass because we do a lot of shooting and maneuvering. Right? And if you're getting down on a knee, if you're rolling, you're shooting under vehicles, we prefer to do that on grass. If you use grass, again, seed it just like your lawn. don't let it get taken over by weeds and all that stuff. Again, all of our other bays, we've got the big field here that's got all the bays so that we can do shoot, move, communicate. Right? We're not going to gravel all that. I don't have the budget for that. Neither do you. Gravel it if you feel you have to gravel it. Gravel it if you need it to drain. All right? For example, we've got a drain culvert run straight through the center of the berm to an 80-foot deep sinkhole behind the berm. My range drains like this no matter how much rain we get. All right? Now, once you've got your range built, you're not done. All right, you need to establish a good Medevac plan, right, and a good medical plan. Make sure you have medical gear on site. We've got it mounted to the edge of the berm here. Big sign says Med, red cross on it, ammo can sealed, waterproof. It's got all the medical gear in it. Yes, all the instructors carry med kits on the back of their belts. We do. That doesn't excuse you for not having medical gear out here. Now, it's not just about having a medical plan for treating here, but you also need to have a Medevac plan, right? If it's life, limb, or eyesight, what is the fastest way for you to get an injured person from your private range on your property to the local, whether it's the hospital or trauma center? You need to think through this ahead of time, because if they're on your private land, chances are it's you, your drinking buddies, or it's your family members on your range, and they're worth it. So anyways, not only do we have a good Medevac and med plan here, we've also got a detailed safety briefing that we go over. When people show up, every once in a while you have somebody new come out to the range to shoot with you. You start off the range every time, just like they do in the military. You read off that safety briefing. You make sure everybody knows where the medical equipment is at. You explain to them, I'm going to be the primary medic. This guy over here is my assistant. He's going to herd the cats. If I need help, I'll ask for help. I don't need 20 guys with cell phones filming. If I'm the casualty, you've already identified who the backup medic's going to be. See what I'm saying? Establish that right away in your safety briefing. Right? But have all this planned out. Yeah, everybody's worried and concerned about, Karl, how'd you make the berm? Guys, the berm is the least important thing on your own private shooting range. Make sure you do it legal. Make sure you do it in the correct direction. Have a berm. Have good targetry that you can safely shoot. But have that Medevac plan and do that safety briefing. Anyways, that's my take on how to do a range. So, you know the deal. Hey guys, I may have missed something. You guys may have great ideas. Put it in the comment section below. You know that I read all of them. And get out there, make your own range, and then shoot straight. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter so you don't miss out on anything.